Hello, hello, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. No, not my kitchen, even though I am in my kitchen. It's just welcome back to my channel. So, this video today, I have tried to film this video 5 or 6 different times. Sit down in front of the camera, on the couch, and try to film it, and I just feel stupid. I don't like just sitting in front of a camera, and I've tried, and it never works out. I know I did my Why I YouTube video, and I didn't like it. I don't like just sitting in front of a camera and just talking. And like I said, I've tried to film this several times, and none of the videos ever turned out the way I wanted to, and none of them ever looked right. Finally, my husband made the comment to me, well, when you're filming and you're cooking, you don't have a problem just standing there and talking and talking and talking. How about you film your video while you're just doing normal kitchen stuff? And I thought that was a great idea. So, here we go. Today we're going to talk about my accident. Like I said, I've tried to film this a bunch of other times. It never turns out. I keep getting asked the same questions, so let's discuss it and go over it. What happened with my car accident? Well, my daughter was, I believe, 11 days old. She might have been 14. My husband will probably put it on the screen and correct me because I'm always wrong about exactly how many days old she was. We had taken our daughter to go meet his father. And on the way out of town, we were in the car, and right at the most, well, hindsight is foresight, dumbest moment, we were heading out, and we were trying to get out of town, and no, we were not speeding, but we were getting out of town and out the one end of town that his dad lives on, so that when my daughter woke up, for her bottle, we'd be right close to the rest stop. And we'd be able to stop at the rest stop underneath of the trees in the shade and feed my daughter her bottle. Well, as we came up on an intersection and a stoplight, some jerk, yes, I'm using that word because he totally was in this instant, a jerk with a big truck. It was one of those 6-wheel trucks even that have those 2 tires on the back on each side, and he was towing a big like 22-foot trailer with him. He decided to run a red light, take a left on green, watch out on yellow, no right on red. And he had a red light. And the whole rest of, it was a big highway, a big city. There should have been absolutely no reason for him to not know to not run that red light. And he did it anyways. And we hit him. And, well, just at the moment that we got in the accident, a couple moments before, like I said, we were getting out of town to make so that we could stop at the rest stop and feed our daughter. So I had unbuckled myself. I was leaned over in the seat, and I was digging through the diaper bag that was between my legs, when my husband said an explicit word because, well, a big old truck with a trailer just turned right in front of us, and he's got his wife and his daughter in the vehicle. And when he said those words, as a human, my automatic reaction was to look up. Well, being as I was bent over, when I looked up with my eyes, my face was right there with the dashboard. And bam! I went face first right into the dashboard, right into my front teeth. And then as the car started to whip around and whirl around, my face went sideways and into the dashboard, and sideways the other way and into the dashboard. And by the time the car stopped spinning around and the accident was all over and everything, I had lost half my teeth. I got out of the vehicle, spitting giant chunks of tooth. A little while later, when we were at the hospital for everybody to get inspected, I was in the bathroom throwing up. And I was throwing up chunks of teeth because I had swallowed chunks of teeth during the accident. It was not fun. I looked like a jack-o'-lantern. And I was not even 25 years old. And I had taken pride in, and maybe that wasn't a good thing, and maybe that was part of my learning lesson, and maybe that's part of why what happened happened. I took great pride in my smile. I took care of my teeth. I brushed them several times a day. I was not even 25 years old. I was a young woman. I was a young mother, a young married wife. I had an absolutely beautiful smile. And it was really hard for me. I lost half my teeth that day in the accident. A month later, I had major dental surgery and lost the top half of my teeth. They pulled all the top ones. Unfortunately, insurance, and you got to make sure that you check your guys' car insurance, everybody, and make sure that you've got good accident insurance, because this is where we had issues. Because technically at the time of the accident I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, the car insurance company didn't want to pay for my dental care because I wasn't wearing a seatbelt, which means I was violating the law, which means I was responsible for the medical expenses that came about to begin with. So we had to fight the car insurance company over it and explain to them that it wasn't that I chose not to wear a seatbelt, it's that at that very moment I wasn't wearing one. And we proceeded to spend 3.5 years fighting the car insurance company to get my dental care done. I was lucky enough that, I guess you can't say lucky enough, right after the accident, a month after the accident, like I said, all the top teeth got pulled. But that's because they were the most damaged during the accident. And I had actually cracked and broke and chipped off part of the ball joint right here on this side of my jawbone. Maybe you can hear it if I get close enough. If you heard that popping, my jaw pops because I lost part of the ball socket on my jawbone because of the accident. All that got removed a month after the accident, and then I proceeded to spend 3.5 years fighting them over the rest of it. So I had broken teeth on the bottom of my mouth. Some just cracked and broken. Some of them actually broken off at my jawline. So I had the roots of my teeth in my mouth, but the tops of the teeth were gone. And I had to spend 3.5 years fighting the car insurance company to pay for any kind of dental, anything to be done. And I, at one point, even ended up with infected skull disease from the teeth getting infected, because when you break your teeth and crack your teeth, no matter how much you brush them and take care of them, they rot. And with the accident and the breaking of them, they rotted. So I spent 3.5 years in a lot of pain fighting insurance companies, paying to get teeth ripped out of my head when we could come up with the money if my teeth got too bad for me to be able to handle the pain. I mean, it was really hard. The dental surgeon that I saw a month after the accident, who did the top, did an amazing job. He did really good cleaning up my jawbone. The part of my ball and socket on my jawbone, he did a really good job. Yes, my jawbone does pop, but with how bad it was, I'm lucky that my jawbone doesn't pop out of place all the time. Like I said, he was a very good surgeon, very good dental surgeon. After the 3.5 years of fighting and getting teeth pulled when we could afford it, there was no fixing my teeth, because when I hit the dashboard, like I said, parts of my jawbone broke and cracked and chipped off. So there was no going into my mouth and repairing teeth and doing root canals and any of that. No. The minute I hit that dashboard, all of my teeth were a loss. Every single one of them. It's been 15 years now, so I've learned to deal with it. It has been a very long, hard road. That first while was really hard for me, especially that first couple years after the accident, when I still had my lower teeth, and because they had broken or chipped or cracked, unfortunately I had a lot of judgment, and judgment that was unfair. People assuming that my bad dental care came from nefarious means. The funny thing about that nefarious means is, if I did have a drug problem, if I was on state medical, the state medical would have paid to fix my teeth and give me good teeth, fake teeth, false teeth. I have known drug addicts who had all their teeth pulled out when they were 25, 30 years old and got brand new dentures paid for by the state. And here, because mine was a car accident, I couldn't get any help, but I was still being judged. Yes, it's still a little bit of a sore spot for me, because I was very unfairly... I think I just put a skin in here. Ha 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 ha. I'm making veggie stock and more stewed tomatoes. The only reason I'm making more stewed tomatoes is we ran out of veggie stock and we need veggie stock. So I'm slicing up the rest of my tomatoes. Anyways, back to the accident. So 3.5 years after the accident was over, fighting the car insurance company, we finally won, and they paid for the bottom ones to be removed. Even if I had gotten everything done right away, I still would not have been able to get dentures, because, as I said, I broke jawbone, I chipped jawbone. There is no way for me to wear conventional dentures. I wish I could wear conventional dentures. If I could, it would make things a lot easier for me. As is, certain kinds of foods I have to cook for myself in certain ways. I obviously have to slice up all my meat very thin and very small. And work around the fact that I can't get dentures. Now, I could get implants, if anybody knows what those are. I couldn't get a full set of implants, which is, a full set is individual, and all 32 teeth put back in individually. I could not get that, because, as I've said, I am missing jawbone. So the only thing I would be able to get is partial semi-permanent implants, and those are even more expensive, and they wouldn't even be a full set of teeth. It would just be basically my front teeth just for looks, and it's really expensive. And after 15 years I have come to love myself. My husband has known me since we were teenagers in high school. I was a freshman, he was a junior. We've been in each other's lives longer than we haven't been in each other's lives. So my looks and the accident and what happened has never diminished my husband's love for me, which I thank God for every day. And I'm happy. It has taken 15 years for me to come to this point where and I can't even say I'm 100% comfortable with myself, because I am still judged constantly by people for this. My favorite one that I hear all the time is, well, why don't you just go get dentures? I mean, won't your medical pay for it? No, they won't. Very much, unfortunately, no, they won't. Because like I said, I cannot get regular dentures. I have to get implants. And because I'm of a certain age and no longer childbearing age, we won't talk how old I am. And since I have the 2 children that medical says I don't need to eat nutritionally for reproductive abilities anymore, so paying for dentures is a waste of that. Medical, it's considered cosmetic now. They won't pay for it, so we gotta pay for it ourselves. If you want to know how much it is, this is the reason why we'll never pay for it. It would be cheaper to get a down payment on a house than it would to pay for my semi-permanent implants. Semi-permanent implants would cost me anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000. Yes. It's crazy, because I don't have just a simple, easy dental case. I'm missing jawbone. I'm missing the part of the socket on my jaw on the one side. I was lucky that the dental surgeon that I had 2 different dental surgeons, one for the top and one for the bottom. Both dental surgeons were amazing. Even though the surgeries were 3.5 years apart, the surgeon who did the bottom saw what the surgeon who did the top was getting at, and between the 2 of them, they drilled my jawbone down in ways both in the back and in other spots in my mouth to kind of help create an ability for me to use my jaw as if they were teeth. In the front, they drilled one dental surgeon in the front drilled the front top down in a way that I have quote unquote an egg tooth out of my jawbone. Yeah, that's funny. Yes, I have a little egg tooth just like a chicken would, but it's made out of my jawbone, and it helps slice through certain kinds of foods just like your front teeth would. In the back, on the top and on the bottom, the 2 dental surgeons were amazing, and they drilled my jawbone down in ways that that when I close my mouth, they fit together and create a flat grinding surface in the back to help grind my food down. So I got very lucky that I ended up with dental surgeons who knew what they were doing. So I'm, 15 years, I've come to learn to live with it. It doesn't bother me anymore. What bothers me now is not what people say and not the conclusions that people come to, but what, after all these years, what I've come to be bothered by more is why people jump to conclusions so fast. And why they jump to the conclusions that they jump to so fast. I can tell you, having gone through this and having experienced this, I have learned more about humanity in the last 15 years than I did in the first 25, we'll say 25 years of my life before the accident. It has taught me myself not to judge, not to jump to conclusions, to ask people the story, not to judge people. I mean, after all, everybody's life is different, everybody's road path is different, and people may have made the decisions they made for any number of reasons, and you don't live their life, so it's not your right to judge that decision that they make. I mean, yes, it was really hard, and yes, it's been difficult, but I see this as it was a lesson I needed to learn to look at the world through eyes more empathetic. I will definitely say I have learned to be more of an empathetic person because of dealing with this myself. Alright guys, I will have to admit that was a lot easier of a filming for me because I'm just doing what I do every day in my kitchen. So, if you liked this type of a video of more of these chats and sit-downs, let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any questions that you want answered, go ahead, feel free to ask. I will answer them in the comment section down below. Alright guys, thanks for coming along on this story, on this adventure, and hearing about my accident. I can tell you I'm a lot more comfortable talking to the camera when I'm doing what I do. My husband was right about that. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next one, everyone. And remember, stay positive. Bye guys.